What was your "we can never speak of this again" moment? When I was 17, I took a job as a junior counselor at Camp Wildwood, this remote wilderness camp about 3 hours north of town. No cell towers, no roads for miles, just cabins, scattered around a lake surrounded by thick forest. I thought it would be easy money watching kids roast marshmallows and sing campfire songs. The first week went smooth enough, then came the week with the third graders. 20 kids, ages 8 and 9, hyper as all hell. We were doing the scavenger hunt on Tuesday afternoon when one of the counselors came running back to base camp completely panicked. "Eliza's missing," she gasped. "We were at the nature station, and when I turned around, she was gone." Eliza was this tiny 9-year-old with pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. Sweet kid, never caused trouble. We immediately called off the hunt and got everyone searching. The head counselor, Mike, radioed the main office while the rest of us spread out through the woods calling her name. 3 hours passed. Nothing. The police showed up around sunset with search dogs. Parents were getting frantic phone calls. The camp director was losing his mind talking about lawsuits and insurance. They found her the next morning about 2 miles from camp, curled up under some fallen logs. She was shivering, scared, but completely unharmed. Just kept saying she got lost during the hunt and slept in the woods. Everyone bought it. Case closed. The parents came to pick her up that afternoon and the camp went back to normal. But something felt wrong to me. Eliza knew those trails better than most kids. She'd been coming to this camp for 3 summers. Getting lost during a scavenger hunt in broad daylight didn't make sense. That night after lights out, I was doing my final cabin check when I heard this soft knocking on my door. I opened it, and there was Eliza in her pajamas, pale as a ghost. "He said not to tell anyone," she whispered, looking around like someone might be watching. "He said if I talked, he'd hurt my dog back home." My stomach dropped. "Who said that, Eliza?" She just shook her head and started crying. I tried asking her more questions, but she wouldn't say another word. Just kept repeating that she couldn't tell or something bad would happen to Buttons, her golden retriever. I walked her back to the girls' cabin and told Mike about it first thing the next morning. He listened, nodded, then basically told me to drop it. "She's probably just traumatized from being lost," he said. "Kids make up stories when they're scared. Let it go." So I tried to. But I kept watching Eliza the rest of that week. She seemed okay during the day, laughing with the other kids, doing activities, but I caught her staring off into the woods sometimes with this distant look in her eyes. Then I started noticing Pete. Pete was the camp handyman, this quiet guy in his 50s who'd been working there for years. Fixed broken toilets, maintained the docks, did odd jobs around camp. He always volunteered for the overnight maintenance shifts, said he liked the peace and quiet. I started paying attention to where Pete was during activities. He always seemed to be working near whatever cabin had the youngest kids, fixing a loose board here, checking the water pressure there, always had a reason to be around. On Friday night, after all the kids were asleep, I saw Pete walking toward the supply shed with a flashlight. Nothing unusual about that, except he wasn't alone. There was a small figure walking behind him. I followed them, keeping to the shadows. The supply shed was about 50 yards from the main cabins, tucked back in the trees. Pete opened the door and they both went inside. The door closed and everything went quiet. I stood there frozen for what felt like hours, but was probably only 30 minutes. My heart was pounding so loud I was sure someone would hear it. Finally, the door opened and Pete walked out alone, whistling softly. I waited until he was gone, then crept over to the shed. The door was unlocked. I pushed it open and shined my phone's flashlight inside. Empty. Just shelves full of craft supplies and cleaning equipment. But scratched into the wooden floor, fresh and deep like someone had used a nail or sharp rock, were 4 letters. H-E-L-P. I stared at those letters until my eyes watered. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold my phone steady. I should have taken a picture. Should have called the police right then. Should have done something. Instead, I backed out and closed the door.